At the Louisiana Senior Games in 2021, the 100-meter world record was set by a once-in-a-generation athlete. This is Julia "Hurricane" Hawkins, who became the first person over 105 to run the 100 meters, clocking in at 65 seconds. Although like any athlete, she's always pushing harder.
On another day, I think it would have been faster. Under a minute is what I wanted.
We asked Julia and an expert in longevity, biologist Steven Austad, to break down her secrets and to find out what it takes to live longer, healthier and more athletic lives.
People think they got there because of what they particularly did, but it may have been the genes, it may have been luck. They look a great deal like the rest of society. It's just that they don't get the same diseases that we do, or they get them 30 years later than we do.
It's estimated that 25% of longevity is due to genetics, affecting rates of disease, cellular aging, and the ability to repair DNA. But it's not all out of our hands. Epigenetic studies have shown that lifestyle factors like nutrition, exercise, and stress can switch on or off certain genes that promote longer lives. Research shows that optimists tend to live longer, with reduced risks of heart disease, stroke, and lung disease. It's also associated with a lower risk of early death from cancer.
I think having magic moments and having passions about something are extremely important for older people, to keep their interest in life aloft, to look around you and see the wonder of the world that's out there and not just pass it by. I also am careful what I eat. I don't smoke or drink or any of those things. I think I live healthy.
There's no single diet that creates centenarians. If we look at the countries with the most centenarians per capita, they each have very different cuisines. Julia eats what she calls a sensible diet, rich in fruits and vegetables, which does match up with research showing that many centenarians tend to eat balanced diets of unprocessed whole foods. But perhaps just as important might be some form of calorie restriction or fasting, which a number of studies suggest could increase longevity. Centenarians are also rarely overweight, which is a risk factor for many age-related diseases. Centenarians live extremely active lives, but they aren't exactly gym rats.
You don't see extreme exercisers in the oldest age categories. There are very few centenarians that have been extreme exercisers their whole life.
Mostly walking. I did do some running every now and then.
Low-impact physical activity was key to maintaining both her health and mood. It also protected her joints, allowing her to sprint with no pain in her 105-year-old knees.
Started doing bonsai trees when I was about 50. When the children grew up and left home, I have some that are 50 years old that I grew, and they're like having children. And that's one of my passions.
Hobbies like gardening are not only great for staying active into old age, but carry lower risks of injury. While exercise is important, a Danish study found that people who played tennis, badminton or soccer tended to live longer than those who cycled, swam or jogged. Researchers theorized that this was because relationships and socializing play a big role in longevity.
It's so important to have hobbies with your husband, and we also read to each other. When I got older, I lost my sight, and he was able to read to me.
Relationships can help buffer us in times of stress and encourage healthy activities. A meta-analysis estimated the benefit of friends, family, and even colleagues to be just as good for long-term survival as giving up a 15 cigarette a day smoking habit. This Japanese concept roughly translates to a reason for being, a motivation or sense of purpose that gives you satisfaction. It suggested that one of the reasons for Japan's famed longevity is the fact that they often continue to work past retirement and play important roles in their families and communities. Studies have shown people who claim a sense of ikigai have lower mortality and better health outcomes.
Sometimes I wonder why I'm left out here at 105. I miss my husband so much. The last great wonder of life is what happens afterwards, and I'm anxious to find that out. But I keep thinking, people keep telling me that I inspire them. And if I inspire people and help them stay healthy, could be a good goal for my life, why I'm out here.